Hello and welcome to the Advanced I-Metrix Modeling module. In this module, we explore ways to build complex models and find elements in a time-efficient manner. Previous to using this model, you should have familiarity with Excel features and Excel fundamentals. If these features and skills require revision, please see the appropriate module. There are two starting points for a model. Either you will have an existing template or you will build a model from the ground up. If you are building a model from the beginning, first complete the skeleton. The skeleton of the model are items such as column headers, labels, and other formulas which will feed off the data, such as the ratio price to sales. At the core of modeling is the use of Excel's relative and absolute referencing. To build dynamic models, cell referencing is a must, since it gives a central area where you can change inputs which run through the entire workbook for the desired output. We are going to build a generic function call with cell referencing which can be copied and pasted through the model. First, we need to locate the tags for the items of interest. While the function builder is useful for constructing templates, there's another process to locate tags efficiently. Open a blank sheet in your workbook with the Shift F11 key. So hold Shift, press F11, which opens up another sheet inside your workbook. On this blank worksheet, we will use the Sheet Properties function to extract the financials for companies which we want to model. For instance, if we are building a banking template, we would download maybe 10 of the largest banks into the spreadsheet. The larger the entity, the higher probability of more tags due to the increased reporting complexity of the company. If our model is more of a generic, we may download large entities from the S&P 500 across sectors. To download companies into the sheet, select the Sheet Properties function and enter the desired tickers. To ensure the tags will display in the final column of your output, click on Advanced Options, the Column tab, and put a check mark inside the Show Map Tags area. Press OK. I'm creating an operating company template and have chosen 3 for identification: IBM, Dell, and Microsoft. Click Run Query. And this will extract the information and download inside our sheet. Notice, column E has the output of the map tags. Now the first element of interest is operating revenue. There's a couple ways we can go about doing that. The way that the Sheet Properties extracts information is in the following format: balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statement, ancillary information, ratios, aggregate industry and sector ratios, and then consensus estimates. So we can scroll down to the appropriate area and locate the element of interest, or we can highlight column A, which has the labels, use the Control F Find feature, and look for the item of interest. Notice that some of the rows there is no data represented, but there is an associated tag denoted by the end word abstract. These are just placeholders representing the hierarchy of the display. There is no company-specific data associated with these elements. Also notice the tabbing structure of the labels. This indicates the parent-child relationship of the elements. For instance, sales revenue net is a child of the main revenue parent, operating revenue. This is a tag of interest, so let's copy this. Control C, go back to our main template, and we'll paste that inside a column that we would use the grouping function to hide. Whether you paste the tags in a row or a column depends on the flow of the model. If you have input the labels in a column, then the tag should be pasted in the column as well. We continue this copy and paste process until we've located all the items of interest. So we notice book value and earnings are our two next items of interest. We will go back to our display. Book value, stockholders' equity. We're going to copy stockholders' equity, place that inside our model, and earnings. Net income. We'll copy that and paste it back inside our model. If there is an element of interest in our database, but you are unable to locate the item since the company selected do not report it, you can download our taxonomy or data dictionary file from the Analytics tab on the website. This file tab separates the fields list by different reporting structures: banks, broker-dealers, REITs, insurance, consumer/industrials, which is the largest group, and oil and gas. Remember, when choosing elements, if a company does not report an item for a specific period, no data will populate for that entity. Now that we have selected all our tags, let's make a generic I-Metrix function call that can be copied and pasted throughout our model. So we'll type equals I-Metrix, bracket, the ticker, which is in cell C1. We're going to lock that, comma, the data set, which is in cell B5. We will lock that as well, comma, the specific tags of interest, which is along column B. So we're just going to lock column B, comma, the way we want it displayed, so the format, which we have inside cell C4. We're going to lock that, comma, for the fiscal year 2009, we will lock that cell, comma, for the fiscal quarter number 1. And bracket. Let's say that we'd also like to represent this inside millions. We'll use a division, type in 1 million, press enter, and our data populates. Now we press Control C, highlight across and downward, and paste, and our whole model updates. Another useful function is the end function in Excel. We can encapsulate our I-Metrix function call with the end function. We can type in n bracket, and then around the I-Metrix function call an n bracket. And what this function call does is, if a null value is returned because a company does not report that element, this will return a 0 instead. And what this allows the model to do is, if we're dividing it by a million or we're using it inside another formula, we do not get a pound value. It returns a 0, but the calculation can still commence. We can also do this on a macro level by using the options drop-down, going to Advanced, and inside the display, you can choose to display as null values for the I-Metrix function calls when there's no data associated, or to display as 0 throughout the full workbook. Note that the market data function calls are slightly different. It goes I-Metrix, bracket, ticker, comma, the data set that you're using. We're using the historic data set, but we could have used the intraday data set as well, comma, the element of interest, we're looking for the close price, comma, we can use a specific date inside here, or we can use our convention, what we say D, which is previous close, D1, the previous day before that, D2, etc. You can also combine multiple I-Metrix functions in one cell. So, to create a gross profit, we can take the revenue I-Metrix function call and subtract off the cost of goods sold function call. You can use these functions in conditional statements. If the company does not report diluted EPS, then use vacancy EPS. The I-Metrix tool is very flexible. Thank you for attending the Advanced Modeling training. This concludes the Advanced Modeling training session.